course, we're often told, aren't we, that EVs are the future. The government, if anything, are trying to force them down people's throats, whether we like it or not, with the 2035 or even 2030 deadline that they've, of course, announced, rather than just letting people buy one when they want to, which personally I think people should have the choice whether to buy a new one or a brand new petrol or diesel one. But what would just happen if, I guess, something came out which mean they got a teeny weeny little issue that they'd have to look at, which could unfortunately mean for you that could potentially mean you'd have to live somewhere else. But just what am I going on about then, and how could that be? Well, according to this article, it says that electric car bursts into flames on a driveway and destroys a £550,000 family home. I mean, just imagine it. You're sitting there eating tea or maybe watching Coronation Street, and then suddenly, boom! But that action is not on screen, it's in your front driveway. I mean, just have a look at this. And of course, I don't know about you, but that is, if anything, quite a worrying sign, which hopefully I'll try to stamp out the flames on this issue, pardon the pun, sooner rather than later. And admittedly, yes, I know, this is an isolated incident, but then again, what would happen if everyone had an EV before this issue was sorted out, and therefore there might unfortunately be a few more, shall we say, unfortunate incidents, which would be even worse than the harmful fumes or whatever they say that they're trying to get rid of, eh? According to this, it says a vehicle was parked outside the home in Chandler's Fords, Hampshire, and had been charging overnight when it caught fire at 5 a.m. on Friday. Well, of course, most people, I could be wrong, but I'm guessing that most people who do have an EV charger do charge them overnight because they probably get the super cheap off-peak rate of, 7 pence a kilowatt hour, and therefore it just makes you wonder, doesn't, how worse could this potentially be if you're asleep at the time, which obviously, I don't know about you, but I'd definitely be asleep at 5 a.m. Crews from 3 different fire stations raced to the scene as the flames spread to 2 other cars on the driveway and reached the front of the family home. Now, of course, I'm guessing by this point they were wide awake. More than likely, I'm guessing to the bang of their brand new improvised alarm clock, but who knows? Thankfully, everyone inside the house, though, was evacuated and no one suffered serious injuries, but it just goes to show that either the EV or the charger, one of them had a serious issue, and if it isn't fixed very, very quickly, it could happen again, couldn't it? But what they all said about it then, well, a spokesman for Hampshire Fire and Rescue said firefighters tackled a fire involving a number of vehicles and spread to the house on Charlotte Drive in Charlottesville this morning, and crews from Eastleigh, Redbridge and St Mary's were also alerted shortly after 5 a.m. when multiple 999 calls were made into the control room reporting the blaze. Metro contacted Hampshire and Isle of Wight Constabulary, who said the fire is not being treated as suspicious. Well, yeah, more than likely, because, and admittedly I could be wrong, but it does make me wonder if this was possibly some sort of power surge that went through the charger and into the EV, or maybe actually it was the EV battery itself. Either way though, the cause of this really does need to be identified as soon as possible, and then measures put in place to make sure that this never happens again, because let's face it, if they want us all to get one of these EVs sooner rather than later, then things like this better be stopped before they even start, eh?